All right, user interaction. Most games, I won't go quite so far as to say all games, but I mean, it depends on your definition of game. Most games are going to need some kind of user interaction. So first I'm going to go and I'm going to save my scene, which I have not done recently because it showed a little asterisk up there to remind me. I'm going to switch back over to the code, and we're going to take the same basic idea, except we're going to do it based on keys that the user is pressing. So we're going to say if input get key key code dot left arrow. Oops. Again, here's our conditional. So we're going to take this, I'm going to put that up at the beginning, so we're always going to grab the position of the game object. If the left arrow is down, then I'm going to grab all this, I'm going to cut, paste it in here, but we don't want plus move speed. If they're holding down the left arrow, we want things to move from here in this direction. So it's going to be negative move speed. Everything else is the same. And yeah, I guess we'll take that out for now. I don't want to put restrictions on there, I guess. So go ahead and take that out, and just like that, we've got some interaction. But while we're here, let's go ahead and let's change that to be correct. Subtract the move speed. And this could be an else or an else if, but I'm just doing it this way instead. Like so many things, there are a lot of different ways to approach the problem. Now I want to add the move speed in the X, and so that's going to be plus move speed. Go save that, switch back over, let that compile. And you know what? Let's do it with the floor. So now I hit play and nothing happens. That's exciting. Maybe it's too low. Nope. I broke something. What did I break? I don't know. Grabbing the position. If input get key while the user holds down the key identified, left arrow. Oh, I see what we're doing. Do you see what we're doing? Because I do. We are assigning it, but we never set up the position. So I could put a line here that assigns the position of the temp geo transform position to the new position, like this, equals new pos. Now, the reason it gives us a line is because it does not exist in the current context. So I could move new pos out here, blah, 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 blah. Not a great way to do it because you're still going to be setting the position every single time inside of update, even if they're not doing anything. So we're going to cut that line and we're going to paste it there and we're going to paste it there. Now, a key component of programming is DRY. Don't repeat yourself. But in cases like this, it's fine. It really is. If you've got something that's very performance intensive, you would do things very differently. You would not be assigning a vector 3 here. You would not be making a new vector 3 here. You would not be doing this. You'd set a Boolean and say, you know, moved equals true, moved equals true. And then down here it'd say, if moved equals true, then set this. But we're not going to mess with all that right now. It's overcomplicating for the sake of overcomplicating or proper code. To me, if it works, it works, especially when you're just learning. There's no point in adding to the confusion. I'm going to switch back over. Going to hit play. Let's see if we can move our floor around. there, moving the floor. Let's crank up that move speed a little bit. And of course, you can also do this here. And now, well, there we got more of a move speed. That's kind of fun, huh? So there you go. Now let's say instead we want the cube to be moving. And let's do something like 0.05. So now, when I use the right arrow or the left arrow, I'm moving these pieces back and forth. Now, you might have seen, even as it was falling, I still had a little bit of influence over it. Because the physics is going on, but it's also tweaking the position. You see it going to the right and the left and the right and the left. So there's some cool stuff you can do with these kinds of things. A very simple game would be to have these things and basically in the same X alignment. We could even add a couple of other spheres. I'm just Control D to duplicate. I'm going to hit play. Everything falls. And now I can use my arrow keys to move them around. Now, is that super fancy? Is that cool? It is not. But still kind of fun. I have two of them in the same place. That's why they are kind of freaking out and moving around there. I'm going to grab this. I just hit R. So the hotkeys for this is W, E, and R to move, scale, and rotate. And of course, those are right next to Q. That's why they're those. I'm going to scale out the floor just a little bit and move it just a little bit. Hit play again, and those won't fall off. They'll just basically fall down. Then I can push around. And if I had other things in place, I could also move towards them and knock them off the other way. There's also stuff you can do with constraining the physics objects and stuff like that, and that's okay. We're not going to mess with any of that right now. I can also, of course, in the editor, or the scene view, just grab it and slide it around. That's kind of fun too. So in the same way, if we want to take sphere number 3 and put it in there, then that one will be the one that moves around instead of everything else. And of course, we can give it a different color if we want. Remember, grab this. We can duplicate, which I don't seem to be able to find. I usually just hit Control or Command D anyway. I'd call that blue, not blue 7. I guess we could give it a blue. And because you cannot do anything in the game view. Now I've got, nope, I grabbed the wrong one. How about that? All right, let's actually pay attention to what we're actually doing. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to go there. It's telling me that that is sphere 3. So I want to move the blue onto that. I want to move the green onto the other one. Now I've got the one I want is the same color as the others. So if you were going to move this forward and back, you see we're going in the Z positive and Z negative. So you would just say if input get key, key code, up arrow, and then instead of minus move speed for the X, you do temp pause Z plus move speed to go out that way and minus Z in the other one in the down arrow to come back this way. That's going to do it for user interaction. We've got one more key section that we're going to do next. We're going to do something a little more advanced, but it's also going to look a lot more like a game when we're done.